Hello guys, so today we are going to talk about a new lead code problem. The problem number is 151 reverse words in a string. So the problem type is medium and its statement is given an input string as reverse the word of the words reverse the orders of the words. So a word is defined as a sequence of non-space characters. The words in S will be separated by at least one space. Return a string of the words in reverse order concatenated by a single space. Note that S may contain leading or trailing spaces or multiple spaces between two words. The return string should only have a single space separating the words. Do not include any extra spaces. So we have example 1. We have input S. The sky is blue. We have blue is sky that. We have only one space between each two consecutive words. So in example 2, we are going to see input S as hello with the trailing and leading spaces. We are going to get rid of these spaces by removing them, and only one space will be between these two word and hello. Word and hello. So in example 3, I have two extra spaces here. These two extra spaces should be removed by the output. Will be example good space A. We have constraints. Here we have constraints. What we have as constraint in this question. So we have the length of S will be between 1 and 10 to the power of 4. S contains English letter, uppercase and lowercase digit and spaces. We care only about spaces. We don't care what S contains actually. Okay, and we have at least one word in S. So how we are going to solve this question in order to reach the minimum time complexity? Okay, so first of all, I'm going to declare a new car array. It will be a capital S. It will be the same as the string S actually, but two car array. And therefore also I will be defining a reversed car array. Let's say it will be a new car. It will be same length of S, let's say. Okay. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to define a 3 integer int I equal s dot length minus 1, j equals 0, k equals 0. Okay, now I'm going to loop using the while loop while I greater or equal 0. What I'm going to do, I'm going also to do another while loop. So another while loop will be also one while I greater or equal 0. And here I will be adding another condition like s capital of I equal the space car. Okay, so let me trace this while loop here. So guys, this while loop, I will be tracing this while loop using this example 2 here. So simply I will start by I will be at s dot length minus 1, so it will be at this point. So I greater or equal to 0, so this one is true, and therefore s of I equal car space, so it's also true, so I will be decrementing I by minus. So I will be here, and therefore these two conditions are true, so I will be decrementing I by minus 1, I will be here. At this D, at this index D, at D, this while loop will break or will be stopped because we don't have these two conditions are not satisfied. So I will be putting here as at D as pointer or anchor in order to trace D. So I will be declaring G as I. Okay, so the variable D will be set as I, And therefore I will be having the same, let's say, the same while loop. Okay, but here I will be changing this condition. Why I did this? So let I will continue tracing this one in order to explain why. So here I have G. So at D I have an anchor or pointer called G now, J. So I will be continuing decrementing the I index or the I integer. I will be having I greater than or equal to 0, so it is true at D. So and S of I capital, S capital of I not equal the space car, so it's true. So I will be decrementing I by -1. So I will be here, and therefore again I will be at R because the while will continue doing the loop because these conditions are satisfied, and therefore I will be at O, and therefore at W, and therefore once I arrive here, this while loop will break because I don't have this condition. This condition will be false because S of I at this index, it will be equal to the car space. Okay, so this will break. Therefore, I will be looping from this point, W, which is I plus 1, till G, which is D. Okay? So now I'm going to do the loop using the for loop for int L equal I plus 1 and L, sorry, less or equal J because I need to reach the D as I said before. And at D I have the anchor or the pointer J. So therefore I will be incrementing also L by plus plus. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to use the reversed car array and having that have the index at index k equal to S capital L. And here what I should do also, I should increment k by plus plus. And therefore once this loop finishes, okay, once this finish, okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to add the space here. So simply I can just also write ref k plus plus because I'm going to increment the k and it will be the space character. And therefore I can simply now return new string of my car array from 0 till the length of this car array -1. But I believe I will be having an error here, but we need to shed light. We need to shed light on this error. First error is this one. So simply this error can be bypassed. This error is this one. So simply when we reach the end of this rev car array, we are going to at the final step when this is executed, we are going to increment the program will increment k plus plus, and k plus plus will not be reached because it will be bypassing the bounds of the array rev. So simply this one can be bypassed by increment the size of this array by just simply by 1. And now we'll be having this error will be gone. But here what we have an error here which is a logical error actually because we don't need our new string to be returned from 0 to the whole length of this array. Why? -1. Because in example 3 or in example 2, let's say, we have 2 leading and trailing spaces, 4 spaces. So we need to get rid of these 4 spaces. And if you know that when we declared the rev array, we declared it as, first of all, as s.length. And s.length is same as s small, which is our string dot length, because it should have the same length of this string. So here we have 4 extra spaces that we need to get rid of. That's why we cannot use the ref.length. So ref.length will contain extra spaces or extra indexes that we need to get rid of. Therefore, we are going to use the k. Why the k? Because only we use the k to index or to add our characters. Okay? So we are going to use the k. K minus 1. Okay, because at the end k will be incremented by 1 and we don't need this one at the end of our while loop. Okay, and therefore also we'll be having an error at example 2. Why? You remember that we have traced this part here, and also this trace will be the same for hello. Okay, this code will be repeated for hello, but once we reach this part here, we have at index I is equal to 1, we have these two conditions are satisfied. I is greater or equal to 0 and s of I, capital S of I equal the empty cars. So I will be I minus 1, it will be 0, and therefore also at 0 these two conditions were satisfied. So I will be minus 1, so it will be negative 1. Because 0 minus 1, it will be negative 1. Therefore, I will be exiting this loop, and therefore j will be equal to I is minus 1, and therefore this while loop will not run because I is not greater or equal to 0 because I is negative 1. And therefore also this loop will not run because I don't have al, which is I plus 1. I plus 1 is negative 1 plus 1, it will be 0, and the j is negative 1, so 0 is not less or equal to negative 1, so this condition is not satisfied, so this for loop will not be executed. And therefore, sorry, this statement only will be executed. So I will be adding an extra space, an extra one space here when I reach I is less than 0. So simply I can get rid of this extra spaces by adding a stop case here. This stop case will be checking if I less than 0. So if I have I is less than 0, I don't need to loop actually. I don't need to continue these statement because I will not be entering any loop of these two. Only this statement will be executed, and I don't need it actually. So I can just simply break the while loop. So if we check now, this error will be eliminated, and now if we submit, we can check our time complexity. It will be 2 milliseconds actually. So we bit 99.35 okay of users with Java. So that's all guys. If you have any question, please feel free to ask.